More trouble. We've been in trouble for the last 15 years or more,
Right.
even
But
more.
but no, you're correct. It
But
is.
now it's
It's correct to call it more trouble.
more trouble.
Yeah.
Larry Johnson, I know you have your time. I would thank you very much once again. Everybody, remember all the links are on the description for the shows, for Larry's channels and his participation in other channels. All the links on the description. If you like to help the channel to grow or to help, remember to go to sonar21.com. It's a must read every day. And that's it, my friend. I had more or less those questions for the. I'm surprised you are surprised to know that people in Brazil kind of love the United States. You just just go to Miami.
I understand it's sort of the love hate. It was the same. I saw it in Argentina. Remember, I lived in Argentina back in 1980. All of 84 is there, the very end of 83. And this was just the start of the hyperinflation, the hyperinflation. But prior to that, in say like 1979, 1980, I lived in the city of Cordoba, which is the second largest city at the time in Argentina. And they had daily flights from Cordoba to Miami simply for people to go shopping. I mean, that was you had this enormously strong peso, the Argentinian peso, and they were just they're living on monopoly money, as I call it, and we're flying back and forth to Miami to just go shopping for one day. It was crazy, but then it all came crashing down, and despite the crash, there was still this, they were enamorados of the dollar. The dollar was king, which is, the dollar has been, the king of Latin America for so long. And that's one of the issues that now I think Trump correctly sees vis-a-vis BRICS. BRICS represents a threat to the traditional dominance of the United States in Central and South America by virtue of the dollar. And that's what Trump is trying to stop.
Yeah, exactly. Just to mention, during my youth, on TV, we were always seeing, go to Disneyland with this guy or that famous person. It was, United States was the point for Brazilians as well during the 80s and 90s. Europe was very rich people stuff.
Remember, the Colombian drug cartels relied heavily upon Disney World. It started, I'm going to say, the mid 1980s. While Pablo Escobar was still alive. So what they do is they would give Colombian families, they'd be offered a chance. Hey, you want an all expenses paid trip to Disney World? The drug cartels would send Colombian families to Orlando, Florida, to go to Disney World, Universal Studios, SeaWorld, the whole shoot match. All they had to do was open 5 bank accounts. And as you know, within Latin culture, you have the mother's name and the father's name. So, you could be Jorge Rodriguez Sanchez de Gomez. And so when these people would go in to open the accounts, they'd open up one as Jorge Gomez, Jorge Sanchez, Jorge Sanchez Gomez. They'd use all the different variations of the names. They'd open up 5 accounts. They'd be given, $50 for each account to get it open. And then when you open an account like that, you'd be given starter checks. And their job was they had to sign all those starter checks, but not fill them in. Then when they went back to Colombia, they turned in all of those checkbooks. And, they probably got a fee as well for the fact that they followed through, that they opened the accounts. And once those accounts were opened, the cartels started feeding money into them with the pitufos, the Smurfs. And so every day these guys and gals would roam around Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, go to these different banks and just, deposit, $1,000, $3,000. They'd always keep it under the reporting limits, maybe as low as 500. What happened over time, that money built up in the accounts, and then those checks in Colombia, this is why it was called the black market peso. Because, let's say that you were a farmer and you wanted to buy a John Deere tractor. And the government said, okay, hey, you have to trade your pesos for dollars. So you go to the government exchange window and they say, okay, yeah, you got to give, if you want $1, you got to give us 10 pesos. The black market, which is funded by the drug money, those guys said, you only got to give us 7 pesos for $1. So would you rather save 30% on the deal? You bet your rear end you would. And so that fueled an entire market. So that's what I'm saying. The connection between the dollar, the drug trafficking, the United States has been very, very strong. BRICS represents a threat to that system. And maybe I hadn't thought about this till now, but, I think one of the biggest opponents of it may also be the drug traffickers.
And you know who controls them.
Yeah, yeah.